Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is We Are Error Season 4, Episode 10, Duck Got COVID, and The Boys Season 2. If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that said, on to the podcast.
We Are Error.
Hey everybody, welcome to the We Are Error Podcast. This is Duck. I'm here with
Jake
and
Javi.
And we have our special guest, Reverend Ethan Eastwood. It's no longer doctor, by the way. It's Reverend.
I thought it was Mr. Reverend Dr.
Doctor.
Dr.
It is.
Reverend.
I didn't lose any of those titles. They just pile on.
Or how
Yeah.
about just like Reverend Dr. Ethan Eastwood? Like Reverend Horton Heat?
Ooh.
Or
With the Reverend.
the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
Oh,
There you
The
go.
Reverend Eastwood does have a good
oh,
fucking...
fuck. That's
Yeah,
like the
good,
villain of The
dude.
Walking
Ooh.
Dead. I
And-
like that.
And to be honest, Ethan is actually ordained. He is a reverend. So
Yeah.
that is a proper title for him. That is the one that we're not lying about. He's not a doctor. We lie about that. But he is
Yeah.
ordained. In the Universal Life Church, is it?
Yeah.
So
I
he
got
is
one
a
of those off the internet like back in 2010.
Then you're a
Yeah, so
reverend
you're
also.
Reverend Jake.
yeah.
Reverend Pinkston.
Ah.
Holy shit. You know what? Fuck it. It's not a podcast anymore. We're at a sermon, my friends.
Hold on,
Actually-
Doug. Let's mean you get ordained.
Hallelujah.
Let's mean you get ordained. This
Let's get
way the
ordained.
four of us can be like the righteous gemstones.
You can literally do it. You could have it done in about 60 seconds if you started right now.
We should go.
Are you
We should do it.
serious?
We should do it.
Yes.
For free?
It
Pause
literally
this thing. That's fine.
Email,
How much does it cost?
Password, button click, done.
How much does it cost? Let's get ordained right
It's
now, Javi.
free.
The four evangelists of the apocalypse.
Yeah, there you go.
Universal Life Church. It's free?
Yeah. After you hit sign up, you can just go married. That's what I did.
It is.
It's
It
true
is.
because Britton's mom did that for Oscar and what's her face that worked next door at Piranha. He got detained for immigration and Rhonda got ordained. He went up there, he married him, and got him out of fucking jail pretty much.
Wow! That's awesome, dude. That's the
Yeah.
shit. I thought it cost like $20. I didn't know it was free. I think we should
Depends
do
where
that.
you get it done, but yeah, ULC you can get it done for free.
I was almost done with the paperwork, and then Jake said that somebody got detained by signing up, and that's what I heard, and I freaked out.
No.
And
Somebody
that's
got
not what you said.
detained, and that's why somebody signed up to become a reverend to marry somebody to get him out of.
That's
fucking-
fucking
All
right.
right, boom. I'm done.
Yeah, that's the best version of that ever, dude. Let's go get those fucking kids out of cages, too. Well, that means we'd have to marry them. Cutting that out, never mind. That's weird. my bad.
No,
My
I
bad.
think you should leave it in. No,
All right.
leave it in.
Oh my
It was
God.
totally appropriate.
All right.
Totally appropriate.
Well, what is the We Are Error podcast? It's a podcast to talk about movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. Well, I want to talk about something real quick. It's not movie news, it's COVID news.
COVID news. Whitley wah.
Willie, no.
Really?
Yeah, it's not good. So, Duck got COVID last week, and
Or is it the other way around?
COVID got Duck. Oh,
COVID
shit.
got ducked.
I do want to
It's
talk
Soviet
about
Russia.
in Soviet Russia. COVID gets stuck. I want to talk about it here because this is a place I feel safe and where I've worked out a lot of my stuff.
Well, that's your
No.
first big mistake.
I know. It's the internet. I shouldn't feel safe there. But we've talked about quarantine. We've talked about our fears of, this thing or non-fears of this thing. And we've just kind of discussed this throughout. So I just want to spend a little bit of time discussing it and what it feels like and how it is. You guys already know this. I want to say, first of all, if you get it, your friends and your family will be there for you. You guys have been there for me all week long, and I appreciate it. And I love you guys for supporting me and being there in the scariest moments of it, because it was scary as fuck. On my side, we played a lot of Fall Guys, and the big thing is you guys have checked up on me every day, and I appreciate that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
I have
We love
a
you, Doug.
question, though, Doug.
Love
You
you,
could
buddy.
edit, you could edit this out. When we talked and you said that there were a certain group of people that you thought would check on you, did they eventually check on you?
No.
Okay.
yeah, it definitely defines how I feel about
I mean,
this right now.
but that's how life goes.
That's
Also,
how life
you
goes.
can't people have their own shit going on. It doesn't mean that they don't think about you and want to ask you, and then they get sidetracked or something like that. Like
That's
people are
true.
living their own fucking lives.
And people are
um,
afraid.
But it does suck. But you do have the people in your life that are reaching out to you. So I mean, it's 50-50, you know.
Yeah.
And
You can't expect everybody to.
No, but here's my perspective too. It also, I think people are afraid, especially the people I've been around, and of course they're going to hold some sort of anger, possibly animosity. You know, we all
Did
know
you infect me?
Yeah, exactly. We all know the person I got it
You
from.
motherfucker! You're the one that gave it to me, weren't you, asshole?
Right, and the person I got it from, or I believe that I got it from, I haven't been angry at all. And everyone keeps going, aren't you mad at them? And I'm like, no, why would I be? And in fact, I check in on them, you know, just make sure they're okay. And that's the thing is like, how can I be mad? They didn't know they had it. You know, we were just living our life in a normal way. And I gave them a ride to work and they were coughing in my car. And it was a light cough. That's the thing. It was just like a excuse me, like cough. I guess I should do an impression of it instead of saying cough. But I made a joke. I was like, should we be wearing masks? You know, and we probably should have been. And that's the scary part. But you know what? Could have got it from anywhere. It might not be that person too. I've been out in public. We're at 75%. You can't place blame anywhere, but I only place blame on myself. And at first, I thought it was a cold, and you guys reassured me it was a cold. That's the wonderful thing about this. And that, I think, truly helped me get through the first 4 or 5 days until I found out it was COVID. And so it began after we did our Horrorcast, Slash Horrorcast, on a Monday night at 8 p.m. Definitely check that out. We'll be coming at you this week, too. Every Monday, 8 p.m., Twitch and YouTube. Check the socials. Links in the description.
Even while he has the damn plague, he's here plugging all of his fucking podcasts within his podcast.
This is the official Plague Plug TM.
Hell yeah. Plague Plug! But it was after we did the podcast. I thought maybe from the stress, because it was new and I was still trying to work through it. My back was hurting. I had a bit of a headache, and we were going to do another podcast after that. And I was like, man, I just don't feel right. I'm cold. I'm freezing. I need to take a shower. And I took a shower, and then it got worse. And so I had, like I said, headache. I had, I was going to say cramps. That's not right.
We Zoomed that night, right?
We did, and this is what I'm saying. I only said something to Jake because I did not want to scare Javi or Ethan. So I sent Jake a private message and said, dude, I am not feeling good at all. And Jake reassured me it was fine. I was also talking to my girlfriend. She said, you need to go get a thermometer. Take your temperature. So I went to CVS and got one, and I had a temp of like 95.5. Or 99.5. 99.5.
Low grade fever.
But the thermometer was broken, so I also got a bunch of different temperatures too. I got like 101.7. It was all over the fucking place. But I knew something was wrong because I had a fever, I had chills, my back was hurting, my head hurt. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, do it.
Do it.
One of them told me I was pregnant.
Yes. I was like, It was
unexpected.
I was like, what?
Yeah, so the next day, still having the same things, but adding in fatigue. You know, I was super tired. What's weird is my first sign that I didn't think it was a cold, even though, thank God, we kept saying it was a cold, was my symptoms were rotating, which is a rare thing that happens with COVID, but it is one of the signs of it. So every 5 to 6 hours, I would get a different set of like rotating things like headache, aches and pains. The fatigue was even worse the first 3 days. It was really bad.
It rotates out?
It rotates out, dude. Isn't that weird? And I started
reading
reading about it, and I was like, there's no way. But I was experiencing it. And then when I ended up going to the ER eventually, I said to the doctor, I said, is it weird that this is rotating? She said, no, a small percentage of people get rotating symptoms.
That's fucking crazy.
That's normal is what she told me. And I was just like, all right, that's from a health professional.
I've never heard of anything doing that.
Right.
That shit.
And it wasn't until Thursday when my sense of taste and smell left that I was like, I really think this is COVID. I think something's wrong. And the cough was getting worse and worse. And Jake and Javi and Ethan all got to experience that. You guys heard it get worse and worse and worse as the week progressed because we were playing a shit ton of Fall Guys, which is awesome.
It's an awesome game, but it's hard to focus when you all hear.
It is.
One more time, Hobbs.
You want some crowd.
So, guys, I
It sucks.
Hey, are you guys in? I made it in. Are you in?
So I went and got tested the next day, and of course it takes a while to get the test. This is the fourth time I've been tested, and this time I did a mouth swab, and she was thorough. She was super thorough. She started doing that, and then she took off my pants and started testing some other parts. And I was like, I'm like so thorough. Ow. Here's the thing. Never say something with certainty because you will always be made a fool. Because after she scrubbed my mouth, I turned to her and I said, I think it's just a cold. And after I said that, I was like, why did I say that out loud?
You should have been like, was it good for you?
I should have. Yeah. Did you want this baby? She's like, I already got it. Me,
COVID
Jake.
or the penis?
Oh, she
I was
took
about to
the penis. Friday night, I'm playing Fall Guys with Jake and Austin, and we're talking about it, just off and on, because I'm kind of scared. And thank God, like I said, Jake's been telling me over and over again, it's just a cold. Because if I thought it was COVID, I would have been freaking out the entire fucking week, right? Because I didn't know what was coming my way. And then I get a notification, go check my email, and there's a big red positive, is what it says. That's when I knew I was having a baby. But I did get on the chat, and I was just like, shit, I got it. And then, thank God, the guys were there for me again, just kind of calmed me down and let me know it'll be okay.
Yeah, I contemplated suicide for being a false prophet, so, whatever. I'm glad you're okay.
You really did help, though. I want to let you know that, and you guys just being there for me this week. I went to the ER Saturday morning. I couldn't catch my breath. That was very, very, very scary. I was freaking out. I got there, and first thing I said is, I know this is an anxiety. I know this is a panic attack from knowing what it is. But I'm also having a lot of trouble catching my breath on top of that because it's just rotating. And so it took me 2 hours in the ER, and they immediately gave me gabapentin, which is good for my anxiety. And she prescribed an inhaler for me, which I do have asthma, but I haven't used it in over 20 years. So after I went and got the inhaler and I was able to use it, it helped tremendously. But the next 2 days were very difficult. The guys had to deal with me freaking out, pacing around my house, saying I couldn't breathe because I couldn't breathe, going through periods of time where I was gasping for air. The only thing I could do was pace. I knew from the doctor told me, she said, this is the worst 2 days of this. This is going to be very, very difficult. So I just want anyone who's going through it to know that if you need to reach out to me to talk about it, I am here for you. I will help you out in any way I can. And your friends and your family are going to be there for you too. But I just want to kind of give you an overview so you know what to expect. Other than that, that's my preach. Don't get the COVID. It sucks balls. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Javi's freaking out right now. Look at him down there.
I'm really fucking happy you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
For sure.
like, the fucking night you told me, I fucking cried because I was like, Doug, I need you to be okay. I need you to promise me you're going to be okay.
Yeah, and I mean, the next day I went to the ER, and my first thought was I better not text Hobbs right away so I figure this shit out because he's going to freak the fuck out.
For some reason, I felt like a clingy mother. I was like, oh my God, please be careful. Don't
It's my
die.
baby. It's my baby. Hey, you did. You cried. I'm going to admit to it. You cried.
I cried. Like
You
a bitch.
cried like a
cried.
bitch.
I just said I did. Why are you trying to accuse me? Why did I already admit to it?
Fucking cried. You fucking know.
Yeah, you know you cried.
I just said I did.
It's like that wedding. Like when
exactly. You know it.
I always say, if I'm at my wedding, I'm going to stop people. I'm going to be like, hey, wait a second. You fucking cry at my wedding. You cry. From you guys' perspective, dealing with me, dealing with it, what was it like?
Dealing with you, dealing with it.
Oh my God, dude. Just a baby the entire time. Just crying like a little bitch. It's like, grow up. Just
And now
enjoy
let's
the
forget about
play.
Hobbs.
Nerd.
Let's talk about
Fucking nerd.
No, you handled it pretty well, man, honestly. But you didn't seem like really worried whenever talking to you. You seemed calmed down whenever you had, obviously, voices around you. You would tell us that you were panicking or whatever else. But whenever you were online, I couldn't, a couple days you sounded a little congested, not too bad.
Yeah.
But the fact that you remained so calm about it was easier for us to make you feel even more calm about it, I guess.
And the only reason I was calm is because I had you guys there talking me through it in those scary moments. You'd be like, you're okay. Javi's texting me. You guys don't know this. He's sending me messages left and right like, are you okay? It's going to be fine, Doc. And then you reassuring me, playing the game, just the distraction of Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Keeping your mind off of it. Like you said, you're a very high anxiety person as it is anyways. So whenever you get a thought in your mind with an anxiety, like you start noticing symptoms that you don't even necessarily have, it's like a fucking weird anti-placebo thing. You think that you're, is my arm getting numb? Or, am I having a heart attack? I feel a shooting pain in my jaw and all this shit. And what it is, you're just letting your fucking heart rate and blood pressure get up. You need to just woosah that shit. And it's hard to fucking do that. I mean, I've had panic attacks. I know Javi gets them often.
I had one yesterday.
I haven't had one in a long time. I started to get one for about maybe 5 minutes yesterday while I was playing Fall Guys, but I've been smoking at that point. I took a big old hit and I was coughing it up.
Yeah.
And
it must have been that kind of week then, because I'm not going to lie, a night or two ago, I actually had a panic attack as well. So
damn.
I was
bro.
able to talk
You okay?
myself out of it though.
no, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Are you still in panic attack?
Yeah, constant panic attack. Look at Javi down there have one. But that's the thing is you're able to talk yourself out of it. I need guidance sometimes, and that's my issue. What is Javi doing? Did he see a ghost? What the fuck are you doing, Hobbs?
Good.
I was hearing some fucking weird noise outside. It was fucking weird.
Kind of like a
What,
movie.
like what?
Like screeching.
Like
There were fucking kids coming out earlier. I'm pretty sure.
No, like Freddy Krueger
No, God.
in your dreams.
If it was that, I would have you would have seen me go to my closet and dive in.
Holy
Javi, how do
fuck.
you know you're not dreaming right now?
Let's not fuck with me right now, boys.
Javi, how do you know it's not a fucking giant Rodan coming to get you or a?
Wait, first of all,
King
who the fuck am I for the Rodan to come all the way from Japan just to Target?
A tasty treat. That's what you are.
You're way more tasty treats than me, though.
I don't know. You're pretty sweet, dude.
You're pretty.
God damn it, guys! Let's not give this Rodan fucking.
That would be crazy if all of a sudden we just saw 3 heads just reach in, King Ghidorah stuff.
Wait, is it like that smoking perch on my shoulder?
No, King Ghidorah's huge, dude. He's gonna chomp you down.
Oh damn!
But I mean, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for dealing with me and helping me out through this. Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. And with that, back to the podcast. But we're not here to talk about COVID. We're here to talk about movies, entertainment, whatever. So let's move on to the real reason we're here, to talk about probably one of the best seasons of a show I've ever seen. Hands down, period, done. The Boys, Season 2. Guys.
I don't know. Did you see that 3rd season of Lost?
Yeah, always.
I'm only kidding. I really do.
Great.
The Boys, best season. That show is just all around good. Yes, I said it. Best show ever.
You took that stance.
All around good.
Yeah. There you go. And then he drank half a bottle of liquor. Guys, Javi, you loved it. Jake, what'd you think?
Loved it. It's fucking amazing.
Ethan.
It's incredible. It's so good. Every character's perfect. The cast is great. They're all convincing in every role. Oh, it's so good.
Now, did you start watching it this season, Ethan, or did you watch last season too?
I started when this season came out. So when the first 3 episodes or however many they dropped came out, I went back and watched all of season 1 and then caught up.
Right before it came out, or you said as the first 3 dropped, you wouldn't watch the first season. What'd you think of the first season?
First season's fantastic. It does not wait any time at all to just get going. When his fucking girlfriend gets turned into like the blood cloud or whatever at the beginning, I was hooked like a motherfucker. And then Simon Pegg showing up as Huey's dad and all these other characters. Oh, dude.
And you know that Simon Pegg was the original inspiration for the character Huey in the comic books. At least his look was.
Looks just like him in the comics, too.
Speaking of which, Javi has read the comics. Up to where, Javi? Have you read the complete thing?
I read the complete thing.
Have you read the spin-off comics?
I just went through the main story.
Spoilers.
That's what I really like about this show. And that season 2, season 1, I kind of predicted correctly. Season 1 was primarily based off the comic. Season 2 went off the fucking rails. And they actually did change characters. Like A-Train was white in the comics, and the Deep was much more of a depressive and shit. I love what they did with the Deep in the show. Like they made him a complete fucking dipshit.
Stormfront too. Like my manager at work read through the comics, and he's been kind of going, "Oh yeah, that's different, and that's different, and that's different." And
Stormfront was a dude in the comics, and he doesn't get killed that way. But I love the way they handle Stormfront's death in the show. That was fucking beautiful.
Did we say who Black Noir was in the comics?
Ooh, I don't know that. That's big time spoiler.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to.
Do you think it'll play into the show?
No, they deviated from it. They deviated.
I think it's
from
the
it.
same.
Well, so that's the big thing. There's a lot of character differences. How many books did the comics last? They're hoping to do like 5 seasons out of this, I think.
It's a pretty deep book. They could easily get 5 seasons out of that.
Right.
Or they could fucking Game of Thrones and just write
I think
their
it was
own
like
fucking episodes.
I'm pretty sure it was 53.
Which is what they're doing now. Sorry.
53. Yeah, there's 53.
So the first season kind of followed the setup pretty good, other than those minor changes, like you said.
But season 2, oh man, I went into this like, okay, here's what's probably going to happen. She's going to bring in Stormfront. I was expecting a dude, and I was expecting like everything. I was expecting like once they looked like Black Noir's hood, I was like, okay, completely different. And I was like, oh shit. I like this. There are times where like shows that are based off of comics will deviate, like Walking Dead. It'll deviate from the original source material, but in not a great way. Like in a way that's like, nah.
And that's true. I've read most of The Walking Dead up to a certain point, and the show was better actually in the beginning than the comic. Yeah. When Frank Darabont was involved in the first 2 seasons of that show, it really was good. It was a different thing based upon the comic. The characters are completely different. But once the creator, Kirkman, came in, it kind of started to meld more into the comic book, like in how that soap opera-y kind of thing and adding more characters to the point where the characters looked comic book accurate and for the most part had the same personalities as their comic book characters, which is fine. The comic book was great with like characters like Abraham. This show, season 2, what were the highlights of this for you guys? Like throughout the whole thing, obviously we said Stormfront already being the secret Nazi. Go ahead, Ethan.
Dude, right at the beginning, first episode, when they're about to bring some evidence in and that one chick's head just explodes.
Yeah.
I watched that scene like 5 times over trying to figure out, was there like a little red dot? Was there, a sniper or something? Was there an explosion that went off? No, just...
Yeah. Little did you know it was AOC the entire time.
It was, man.
Dude, I was thinking that.
It was. It was AOC, though. That was who the character was based upon. Because in the comics, it's a different character. But what a great fucking,
there's no character that does it in the comics.
Well, no, but I'm saying her character is based on, that was a gender swap character from the comics that was based upon. Then they did the big surprise. So that's what's cool. Go ahead.
The way that they've shoehorned in current topics going on in America right now in such a deftly way, it's all relative. So that's what also another thing that makes this so much more intriguing because of the current social issues that we have going on as well. So, I mean, they did a really good job crafting this season.
I love it.
About the social issues, they did it in such a it wasn't preachy. They weren't like fooling themselves about it. It was just like, fucking, here's the facts. Here's what it is.
It was really tasteful.
Unbiased.
Think of a certain way. Unbiased, yeah.
And that's what I really dug about it. And plus that heel turn, if you will, at the end where you find out her character was the one exploding the heads. I love that because obviously she was the only one that was shown as a hero, like an actual hero. And to find out that she was a sleeper cell for the company who was just manipulating, and you guys, we won't get into it, but I've changed kind of my politics recently. So to kind of see in the middle going, they're all fuckers, made me very, very happy. But we won't get into that because we don't talk politics in this goddamn.
Well, talk about a good setup for season 3, though. Holy crap, dude!
I'm super excited because there's one fucking character that is gonna be in season 3, and I want to know if they're gonna pull the pin on it. I gotta know.
All right, come on, stop dick teasing. Who is it?
Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
And the comics,
Soldier Boy.
He's so desperate to get it. In the comics, he's so desperate to get into the Superman. 7. He lets Homelander fuck him. Like, what?
Fucks him. That makes sense. Because like on one of the covers, he's like holding himself, like pissing himself and shit. Yeah. It's fucking hilarious.
One of the best highlights for season 1 for me personally, Homelander having a doppelganger.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So.
And it's just like, oh, fuck, man. I don't know what it is about Homelander. The way they're portraying him and Anthony Starr, I root for Homelander. Even though he's fucking batshit crazy, borderline evil. I was like, you know what? I just want you to get your way. I want you to have this win. Yeah. I'm just saying.
That's why it's going to make sense. It's probably going to actually happen, what you're talking about in season 3, Soldier Boy getting fucked by Homelander, because of the doppelganger scene in this season. I mean, obviously. Whatever the doppelganger turns into him. Yeah. That scene was fucking amazing.
It was so fucking
that was unbelievable. Like you were saying, you got to give it to the actor because why hasn't he won an Emmy for this show? Like he deserves one. Like he's that fucking good. And there's been rumors of him playing Wolverine in the upcoming Marvel reboot. That would be awesome. There's some mock-ups and shit like that. But what a fucking powerhouse performance. He is all over the place. And the other thing is he's over the top, but he pulls it back because of the rage that's building. So when he's on that look where he's like, and he's like, you buy it though.
Whenever he's jerking off on top of the building.
That last scene. Oh my God, that was great. That was so good, dude.
I was halfway expecting it to be falling down like acid rain on the people and shit also though. They're fucking dying from him jizzing all on the fucking city.
Oh, what I really also like about this is seeing some of the more perverse things that the characters do with their powers. Like in the beginning where the limbs grow back boy or whatever he was, where he's kind of making his money by letting people just chop and go at it.
That was fucked up.
That was so cool because like secretly I'm like, would I have bought that guy like 10 minutes to chop up? Like I have to question some of my shit too. I'm like, like if there's no consequence to this, yeah, it's fucking weird, and a lot of the shit they do is fucking weird. But I do some weird shit, so I'm sitting there going like, would I?
That's a pretty smart move, financially.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
1,500, you can chop my dick off.
Yeah, how laid back he was when he was like, "Just want to do it." I'm like, "This is so cool," and like,
no big deal.
That's what I like about this show. Like, it deals in the perverse, and like, I'm always like, "How are they going to up the ante?" And then taking on Scientology too, I thought that was really cool to have. You know, that church or whatever it was called, I can't remember, but I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a
Church of the Collective."
Yeah, the true red herring of this season right here, because they made it play out like it was going to be the Church of the Collective that was popping all these fucking heads because they're trying to get A-Train to stay into the 7. And whenever they're at the scene at Congress or whatever, or the judicial hearings, and A-Train's rival's head explodes. Yep. So it's like, oh, okay, so they're the ones fucking doing all this because they're trying to work their way into the 7 and get control over Vought. And I like the twist that they totally spun on it.
Oh, absolutely. That misdirect, there were a lot of those this season, and it was really cool to just not know what was going on. I was really happy with that because most shows you can kind of follow where it's going. And obviously, the ending is kind of a happy ending. You could end the series on this ending. Thank God they won't. But it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, you tied up all the loose ends for this season, but there's so many things that we could go with right now. The other thing I was going to say is every character, boy, they get a fucking arc. Even if it's a small character, they get a decent arc in this season. I don't think there was... If there was
Lamplighter, he was only in there for like an episode or two, and that was such a good arc.
He's the antithesis of Iceman also, which
when
is
he was
portrayed in the X-Men movies. I like that twist on also. And he does the lighter thing that Pyro does in the X-Men movies. Really fucking cool spin there.
I think he was great, but how about the boys themselves? How about Billy Butcher coming back?
My God, I fucking
best character of the show.
Yeah.
Dude, he had a powerhouse performance this season. Like, I think he was way better this season than he was in the first one.
And I like how they built up his return in the first episode also. It was a whole episode without Butcher. You don't get him until like the last 5 minutes, and then you know the way he approaches in is just like, oh, let's go to fucking work. But there was a 5-minute short that came out before the season premiere. Did y'all watch that?
No, what was that
Billy
about?
Butcher. It was what happened after Homelander took him away from Ryan and Becca at the end of season 1. He just dropped him in that parking lot. They showed it at the beginning of season 2, but it shows everything that takes place after the restaurant scene to whenever he goes into the basement.
What did we miss?
He goes and meets up with an old friend of his and fucking kills him pretty much.
Damn.
Sounds like we missed out on something.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's pretty fucking badass.
Also, I just love how badass he is. He'll fucking walk straight up to Homelander, a guy that could murk him without blinking an eye and like curse in his face, tell him what to do, just like he did with Black Noir. Like, hey, cunt. You kill him.
Man's man. My mom thinks Billy Butcher is a soup. Secretly.
That's what I was going to say. How would he react if he did have these, if he was a freak, if he had these powers? What if that is part of this, the whole thing? And, like, I always feel like that's the difference between the characters. Like, they're both sociopaths. One's on the side of good, or is he? Obviously he's on the side of himself. The other one is on the side of himself, too. Like, they have very selfish reasons and motivations. Billy wants to be loved by one specific person. Homelander needs to be loved by everybody. And the truth is, like, it's so nice to see hero and a villain that are just on opposite sides. It's so complicated with their motivations and to see them go against each other and their reasoning. And what was beautiful to me was you knew he wasn't going to take that kid. He wasn't going to take Ryan and, his wife's son through the rape. I knew that watching it after he slept with his wife. I was just like,
he said he wasn't going to.
Yeah,
he
but
straight
even
up
in
through the whole season,
freak.
Yeah,
I mean, but in the scene,
season,
even I'm like, he's not taking that kid.
Through this whole season, his ideology of I hate soups. They are horrible. I want to kill them all. That got flipped on its head.
Yeah,
because he's stuck with the kid. His wife is attached to Homelander's son.
He was gonna kill that kid, though.
Yeah, he was gonna fucking leave him.
It's not even that. The way that Starlight grew on him. So that he already started to get a soft spot for it. He knew that they can't all be bad, right?
Right.
So he loves Becca so much that he didn't give a shit about the kid. But whenever they're in that scene in the fucking woods and he sees Ryan run to his mom and how much he fucking loves her, he's like, Okay, so she's brought him up good. She's a fucking normal person. She's given him good values. You know, she didn't coddle his superhuman strengths or powers. She tried to suppress him. So he's like, this is my wife's son, and I'm going to fucking make sure that he's brought up right. And
He came
do
so
what he
close
can
to turning and killing
as
that fucker,
being
though.
a true good soup, as opposed to one of these commercial fucking
Laboratory
engineer.
raised.
Yeah, or just a fucking company soup.
Yeah, dude.
But it's like that aspect that really makes Homelander for me like one of my favorites because it's like you know that he's fucked up, but like they actually go into why he is the way that he is, and like there's like certain times you're just like, oh fuck. I
You
want
kind
to
of feel
dislike
for him.
you.
They want to
Like,
make you empathize with them, and that's the way any good nemesis should be. You look at Batman and Joker. This is like a perfect parallel for them also, because they're the exact opposite, but they are the exact same.
And I wanted to say with the Ryan thing that really got me was whenever he did see him in the cabin cowering, you could see in his face immediately like, no, this kid's good. And I love that. That was such subtle acting, but it was beautiful.
He's just torn that whole time. He wants to kill the kid because he wants to just have him and his wife the whole time. When the kid's laser eyes, he loses control, burns Stormfront, and ends up by osmosis accidentally killing his mom. Dude, you could see the hate in Butcher's eyes. He wanted to
grabbed
turn
the
around
crowbar
and put that crowbar right between his.
But then Homelander showed up, and then that kill's just like he went behind Butcher, and Butcher's like, "Fuck it, you're not getting this kid."
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, what a bad motherfucker. A normal human being, and he stands up to the most powerful fucking a god.
And with fucking crowbar.
With a fucking crowbar,
That's
he
it.
had nothing on Homelander to just stop him like he did with Black Noir. He was just like, "You're not getting this kid. You're gonna have to kill me if you want him."
Obviously, he's one of the best anti-heroes that they put on film recently. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love this stuff with his little brother too, where he goes
Lenny?
to visit
Oh,
his
my
aunt,
God.
and his aunt's like, he looks just like Lenny, doesn't he? And then you're like, what the fuck does that mean? And then all that stuff with like, he needs somebody with a heart. He needs a conscience. He needs that person because he doesn't have.
He
one
needs
of
an
those.
angel on his shoulder.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that. And that's what's beautiful about his character is he's just directed anger. He's pure rage. You know, he just goes in and he gets stuff done. But he needs someone to be like, hey, step back. Hey, humanize
Maybe not do this.
Yeah, and that's what's so wonderful about him and Huey. And I think by the end, I think even the hairstyle Ryan has is a little bit like Huey's, which would be like Lenny. So maybe he saw something in there too.
Butcher called Huey his canary.
Yeah.
Y'all got that reference.
Yeah.
You know, that's what coal miners use. So whenever the canaries die, they know if they're about to die.
Time to
So
book it,
so it was like kind of a touching thing, but it was also kind of like a dickhead thing to say. But he's saying that he fucking needed him
I
in his
thought
life.
the exact same
You
thing.
know
too,
what I'm saying? It's like it was kind of a sweet sentiment, but then you think about it, it's like, oh wait, you're gonna use me? And then I go, oh no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
That's kind of I kind of like a half expected. It was like, I'm not too sure if that's a compliment.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a backhanded compliment, but it's definitely
It is. He was saying that he needed him in his life, though, for his mission, for his purpose.
Or it could just be like Huey is kind of like Butcher's measure of like, am I going too far? Because Canary will freak out once it starts to smell poison and shit in the mines. Like, hey, we gone too far. This is good enough. We could stop here.
Yeah.
Are we not stopping?
But even Butcher's mom said it. He reminds him of his little brother or whatever, or his older brother, or little brother, or cousin. I don't fucking remember.
Neighbor.
Dude, I fucking hated his dad though, bro.
You hated who?
His dad. That scene was pretty intense.
The bad guy from Running Scared.
Also, the Herald of Gondor, the guy that like tried to light his son on fire, that throw himself off a mountain and shit.
Fucker.
Wait, Abraham? You talking about the Bible?
No.
Lord of the Rings. I mean, the Bible to some.
Yeah.
My favorite scene, hands down, was whenever Homelander, in a fantasy, fucking lasered through the entire crowd.
I fucking love that.
Oh, I wanted it to happen so fucking bad.
I wanted it to be
where are they
real.
gonna go from here?
But it's so beautiful because it sets up what his folly is for his character, because he's always on the edge of rage. He hates everyone, but he requires their love. And he's that close to doing it at all times. Every interaction he has with every other person, you can see that rage right there. Like, I could pop you. I could squish you like a bug. I just destroy you. Like, it's nothing to me. But he needs their adoration. And so to do that halfway through and to have his folly at the end be like, I will show this. You know, when Maeve holds up the camera, she goes, I will show this, and they will all despise you. And I was like, would that really work? And then I was like, holy shit, it does, because he needs them. Yep. He doesn't need them, but he needs them. And
They're the heroes.
And that's why the social media aspect of this season was so beautiful. And I think that we're starting to notice that people are having an adverse effect of the social media, and especially the political stuff. Once again, not to get too political, but the way that Stormfront uses social media to control and to manipulate. And we're seeing that more and more, that we're divided within our little bubbles, and how hate speech can be used through that. And so for this to tackle that, they had to have put this together almost a year before this came out, right? So after the success of the first season, how did they get the timing for that so fucking right with their message? It was just unbelievable to watch it in real time, kind of reflect what we're dealing with in society, not to get too political.
Well, there were none of the main cast were in that scene, so that could have been done in reshoots. Like right before the season
I don't think,
dropped.
man. It was too in it. Go ahead, Jake. No,
They're
go ahead.
Hollywood. They got the inside of what's going to be going on. This is fucking all Illuminati bullshit. So they already fucking pre-planned this shit. They knew that this shit was going to happen this year, and they dropped it this fucking time.
On top of that, the irony of this show coming from one of the largest corporations, if not the largest corporation in the world. So what is the hidden message of that? That's what I want to know. Are we getting double manipulated?
Caused COVID so that the boys would have a story to tell.
I always say that
I'm with it.
Nintendo created COVID so it could sell Nintendo Switches. That's what I believe. So who knows? Maybe.
They all just decided, you know what?
That's genius.
I mean, it's true.
Honestly,
Nintendo, Facebook,
what if Hulu,
Amazon,
Netflix, Amazon all got together and created COVID? This way people would have no choice but to stay home and watch their shows.
Yep.
Council of the Nine.
Amazon has made so much money.
You know what? This is the work of the work of the Pentaverate.
The Pentaverate? What is that?
You want to run that by me again, Hotshot?
Yeah, what's the Pentaverate?
You don't know the Pentaverate?
No.
Like, fuck, the Gettys, the Rothschilds.
We wouldn't be asking if we knew what that was.
I've never heard that ever. I don't think that's a thing.
That's from So I Married an Axe Murder.
Oh, shit. Man, you're doing fucking deep drops. I ain't watched that movie
It's been like
forever.
1991, bro.
Yeah, dude, I love that movie. I love it. I can quote some of it.
Ethan, we're putting that on the fucking to watch list. I don't know how I fit it in as a horror movie, but I think I can.
Yeah.
I think we might.
It's horror-ish.
Yeah,
it's horror-ish.
It's a horror comedy.
There's a part where I got scared while watching it. That counts.
No, well, you're right now.
You're not going to get scared.
The irony of that was you were pulling a Michael Myers right there. So you literally went on a character from the movie, I believe, that you've never seen. What? Yeah, the movie is called it's called Michael Myers, the comedian.
Austin Powers.
Okay.
Wayne's World did a movie before Wayne's World.
You're so young. You got Michael Myers from Austin Powers. Like,
dude, there's like 4 famous Michael Myers.
It was in between Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2, I believe.
It's a killer fucking movie, though.
Yeah.
Because it's about a killer.
Literally.
Yeah. So the boys, back on track. I apologize. The boys. What for you guys was your favorite scenes of this season?
Definitely Stormfront getting murked. Just like the raw power that kid has. He did that to fucking Stormfront, who was taking bullets, who took fucking Homelander's like laser vision and shit, and his like punches, I guess, whenever they were fucking. But still, man.
Oh, I like that fucking scene too, where they were just throwing shit around.
That was a weird fucking scene.
That was
There's
hot.
a lot of fucking this season. There was a lot of fucking.
That episode right there where they hooked up and she's like, laser my fucking tits. And they end the episode with them just destroying the fucking place by fucking each other and choking each other out. They open up in the next episode in the back alley with the fucking robber.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, just some random fucking little thug. Hey, Tex. They're in the back alley, and they catch this fucking just random thug who's robbing, like, a convenience store or something. They just totally berate him before. Like, he breaks his arm, and he's sitting there begging for help, take him to a hospital. And they're like, it's a shame we just can't, kill people because the goddamn cameras know. And they smash his head against the wall and then proceed to fuck on top of him pretty much. Like, they rub the blood of him on each other's faces. Yeah, that was pretty risque.
Yeah, that was sweet. And that's what I like about this show is
I watched it with my parents also.
Yeah,
They
You
laughed.
what?
Yeah, they fucking love this shit. I talked them into watching it. They watched both. They watched season 1. They binged everything now. They're retired.
Fuck, dude. My aunt and uncle are watching this all the way through. I think my mom's about to start it now off of their recommendation. I'm just kind of going,
Yeah,
you're so innocent. No.
Just so you know, my parents are almost 70. So I mean, like, yeah. So
But what's
they
that?
binged it in like 2 days, and then they've been watching it every night that it's been coming out with me. So we've been talking about it like every week and shit. So like I said, they formed their own hypothesis. My mom thinks Billy Butcher is actually a soup, and he doesn't even know it. They're gonna reveal it down the line. And I was like, you know what? That might be a possibility.
There is a soup in that crew, though.
Yeah, it's the Asian guy. It's Miko.
No, there's 2 then.
No, there's two.
Who's the other one? No.
Amen. Oh,
Who? You son of a bitch.
you said who like 2 times?
Your mother's milk is a freaking soup?
Technically.
Read the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
going to do
what
that.
I'm
That takes some shit. Before we get to what I was going to ask after that, does anyone else have any specific scenes that they loved from it?
Oh, the fucking whale.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
dipshit deep.
You gotta love practical effects.
Dude, the boat goes through the whale. All of them start climbing out, and Huey's just
Yeah.
sitting there. The heart's hanging in front of him. He's coated in blood.
I think
No,
I'm just gonna stay here.
I'm just gonna stay here for a while. No, I'm good.
That was
Okay.
awesome. That was really cool. How about you, Hobbs? What was your scene that you... And the problem is we always say the violent scenes because they're visually, it's stunning, some of the shit they're doing. But we've already said the character building, without the character building, the violence means nothing. And that's why this show works.
How about whenever Mother's Milk gets choked out by Love Sausage in the insane asylum? He gets a fucking giant dick tentacle comes through, and he's like, what the fuck was that? He's like, I think you know what it was. Fucking Frenchie.
I even like when Lamplighter goes up to the top of the Vought building and takes himself out. Like you kind of see right away when he's like, I wanted to do it in front of the statue. I was like, this motherfucker's about to flambe, like for real.
Yeah.
What about the scene where Maeve actually comes in and starts doing useful shit like halfway through the season, giving fucking Black Noir the almond joy?
Yes. Yeah. That was good. They referenced
alluded
the
to
peanut
that
allergy.
so well.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I thought they were just had, like, I don't know, marketing deal with Almond Joy or something.
And now that scene when he was tracking Billy Butcher makes sense when he just like casually took that lady's almond joy out of her hand and put it in the trash. Like, I see now.
I forgot about that. I remember that now, though.
And we got to talk about the fucking scanners, like they give scanners for run scene with all the heads popping. Like that in the courtroom or wherever it was, just boom, 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 boom.
That was insane.
That was hard to watch for me. Like I like that level of gore and violence. But like, wow, they did those head pops were brutal. They were.
I love how unexpected it was.
Yeah,
Right.
By that point, I'd forgotten about not forgotten, but we hadn't had anyone else's head explode in quite a while, that it was just in the back of my head.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the back of your fucking mind. You don't even think about it.
Waiting to just...
And the great misdirect of having the Sinead O'Connor in the Asylum girl kind of having a similar power to that, too. Is that her daughter? Because she says she has a daughter. AOC says she has a daughter. I can't remember the name of the character. Is that her daughter is my question.
I think it's Newman.
But with the powers, she does say that at one point. I think the powers would kind of trickle down, maybe. That's what we were kind of dealing with in this season.
No, because that lady, the girl in the mental institution, was recently injected with Compound V.
They were all like test
They were,
subjects
like,
that
all
were
recent test
They
non-suits.
said that, but we
Yeah.
don't know. She could have been one of the few that was in there just because. That's open-ended, man. We don't know. You could say that based on the evidence, but I'm telling you, there's a deeper connection, I think, and I think we're going to see that later.
She's still loose.
Yep.
That's the thing.
How do you guys feel? Yeah. She looked a
Nice.
lot like, yeah, 'cause she's a dirty
Nice.
whore. Yeah.
I like loose women.
All right, in the beginning of this season, though,
I like loose meat sandwiches.
we had a major issue. We
We
wanted it all.
got the beef.
Last year, they dropped everything all at once. This year, we got like 3, I think, up front, and then we had to wait for the rest. Waiting week to week, how'd that make you feel?
I loved it. I hated it at first. I remember telling Jake, "It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me with this shit. Really? You're gonna fucking do me like this? I work hard to pay my $13 a month for Amazon Prime, and you're gonna fucking make me wait a week?" But then, like after that, I was like, "Ooh, this is exciting! I feel like a kid again. Like Saturday morning cartoons, except Friday morning violence."
Dude, that was part of my weekly ritual at work is I'd, get whatever I have to work on. open up the laptop. Oh, shit, Friday, let's go. I'd watch the episode. My manager would watch the episode either at the same time or later, and we just talk about it for the rest of our shift. Dude, I would have it no other way. If they wanted to do it just one episode every time for the next season, do it. Don't even drop 3. Just 8 weeks. Let's go. It was so much fun, man.
I concur. I like the aspect that it builds anticipation for the next episode. It's like how they did for The Mandalorian. You know, you just want to see it so bad because it leaves you on these great cliffhangers, and it makes for good television, as opposed to just rotting your brain and binging it in one fucking night. Room for thought and speculation and everything else like that. We can formulate these crazy hypotheses and where we think the show's going, and then totally have our minds blown like we did. I mean, so
literally, some people literally got their minds.
You got the pun. Pun intended.
I mean, but that is a good question. Let's hypothesize now for season 3 and what we expect to see and what we hope to see. I really know nothing other than, like you said, there's this character that's kind of like Captain America coming in, the original Homelander, which I'm very intrigued by that, to bring in the kind of the Watchmen aspect of having the original team and the modern team. And obviously this is something they've been doing for a while now. And I think the parallels would be very close to Captain America based upon what I've seen here. What do you guys want to see from the next season? Javi's got a little bit more insight. Do you think they should follow the comics, or do you think they should deviate?
I really hope that we get kind of more insight into Black Noir. And like Ryan, I would really like to see if like they're like giving him a good home, or if they're like teaching him more about his powers. I want to see just how far Homelander is going to go with a fucking collar on, and what that snap is going to be like, because it's going to be a great fucking snap.
In that guy, like, give us one more season of that, and then if we're doing something different with the show, let's move on. But like, Homelander steals the show for me. Like, honestly,
I really like the number 5. Keep it at 5. You can have great seasons at number 5.
Yeah,
I'm aware that it could trail off and it'll turn to shit.
Well, take it away and give it back. And plus, they're doing a spin-off series of it too. So how's that going to play into it? I don't know. But like, don't Walking Dead this. Let this be good on its own. You know what I mean?
Like what he said about Ryan, honestly, I want to see how his relationship with Butcher goes and how they handle this whole situation. Or is he going to take him down to meet up with the boys and explain to him what they're doing? Are they going to weaponize Ryan against Homelander? You know, what's going to happen with Starlight and Huey? I like their relationship also. I can't really speculate now. My mind's pretty much blown. I don't know where they're going to take it from here. So I just look forward to what they have coming up.
I've got a theory on that. I think this next season we're going to see the faction lines get drawn in the sand. They've kind of vaguely been there, but we're going to start seeing people taking hard sides. This is going to build up towards the penultimate battle between 4 different factions in season 4. Vought, the coup inside of Vought, which would be Stormfront, who I don't think is dead. She's probably going to get like Mecha Hitler or something.
The showrunner has already said that that's going to happen. She's going to Darth Vader. He's already said she's coming back.
Yeah, exactly. That's why she didn't die at the end.
Yeah.
Vought, the coup, Vought, definitely the boys, and I forget the Collective, the Church of the Collective. I think they're going to play a much bigger part, especially since they seem to have dirt on just about every single superhero out there, or at least a bunch of them.
What if the Collective now fall under the control of that AOC lady, which would be the opposition of Vought?
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe.
I believe so.
Maybe. And that's the thing is
Maybe that's why she blew up Alistair Adana's head.
That's
just
definitely
take over
why.
the church. Yeah.
Well, so she can have control of the history, because obviously he was the descendant of the original guy from Vought, and so I don't know. I feel like maybe the church has been taken out, that they have the information they need already from there. I think, but like you said, I think it's definitely the first 3, though. We're definitely going to see that. I don't think we're going to see Ryan at all in season 2. I think that he's going to be far away. They're going to use him for later on. I mean, what is the battle here? They've been, they're good now. They no longer have anyone after them. Everything's been sponged from the record. So
it's going to build up. This next season is going to be all about tension. And it's going to be like, I don't know, the Franz Ferdinand, the British invading. The straw that breaks the camel's back is going to be Homelander snapping. And then it's going to be an all-out fight.
Yeah, it's going to be him breaking and going against everything that he believes, pretty much, and killing everybody.
He's going to kill them all.
I want to see superheroes from other countries. I really want to see a little bit of like what's going on in Japan, what's going on in Europe, Russia.
They've touched on it already. They
A little
did
bit,
the guy with the fucking love sausage or whatever, the one that choked out MM.
He was Russian.
He was an actual. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like that,
He was Russian. He was an actual character in the comic also. So
also, that soup that Homelander killed.
and you see Kimiko and her. Yeah, but I'm
Mhm.
saying you're gonna see more overseas. I get that. Yeah.
Are you talking about VOT sponsored superheroes from other countries?
Oh, what I mean is I just want to see more because I feel like in some way this show might be the end of superhero media. I think this show is slowly going to lead to the decline of interest in it. So this show has to go all out, and I just want to see what their versions of popular Marvel and DC characters would look like. Like I know there's a version of Batman in this show or in the series that they want to get Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play, and I think that would be great. Tech Knight, I think is his name.
Yeah.
I would be super excited to see that, but I love seeing these parallel versions of superheroes and how they deal with them. And now in our popular culture, these heroes that are parody versions are going to become just as popular as the normal versions, and I think that's wonderful. But I also think that eventually the parody, once you get the parody, I think it's kind of the end of things that are popular. So I think this is our last hurrah, really, when it comes to superheroes.
Is it
Unless
really
they truly
parody,
find
or is
another
it
way.
just like a different take, like a reimagining?
That's what I'm thinking. Also, I mean, every comic company has its own version of each character. Like Marvel has its own version of fucking Superman. Like they're all paralleled. So this is just another version. It's another branch off. I don't even know the brand of the comics that does it.
Like, look at Homelander. That would happen. That would happen if the government found baby Superman instead of his parents over there in Kansas.
But I think that, like I said, this could be the oversaturation point, I feel like. Hope not, because I love this stuff. I honestly, truly believe the next version of media is going to be video game adaptations. And I think that's where interest is going to eventually go. Long form versions of it. Like we've talked about before, how cool it would be to see a Red Dead 2 version on like HBO or Netflix or whatever. And we're seeing with The Witcher right now. That's an adaptation from the book, but most people knew the game. We're going to see it soon. They're doing Uncharted. There's a possibility of doing more Lord of the Rings stuff. I just think that somewhere in the zeitgeist, the interest is going to switch away from superheroes. So I hope this show is the best run of anything superhero we ever get.
Well, on top of that, I think the first video game movie that they would probably adapt if they were going to go like big or nothing, Grand Theft Auto. They would have to, right? Make it like a GTA movie.
I don't know.
I could see that.
You think that would work?
Have, like,
I guess it would.
Nico Bellic, Tony. Oh shit!
Nah, I think they do new characters.
There
The Last
was
of
a
Us
difference between that and a Fast and Furious then at that point.
True.
It has the GTA brand.
Content.
It would have to be a hard
Yeah.
GTA game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's what we're eventually going to get is adaptation of video games. And then I just feel like superheroes have had a good run of at least 20 years, I think. But really, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has been the last 10. So I just think that eventually it's going to drop off. And that's my own personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I'm all for it because I think it's about time BioShock get its fair shot at a movie or a TV show. And
I would
it
love to
like
see some BioShock.
there was something about that way back when.
Gore
but-
Verbinski was supposed to direct a version of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Would've
and
been
it fell
killer.
through because of funding and direction wasn't right, and they were trying to give it a PG-13 rating. Can you believe that?
Well,
Nah.
my perspective is now that we've got this extreme version of superheroes, do you ever really want to go back to watching the other version of it?
Of course. I fucking love the MCU still.
It's wholesome.
Just
That's
saying.
why.
Yeah,
Versus,
I don't need explosive gore the entire time. I can watch the very end scene. I can watch the fucking portal scene of Endgame and cry almost every time. It's fucking nuts.
that's
I like
my
being
last.
able to watch super people actually fight it out and not be like fucking every 30 minutes. So
Well, I mean, to be fair, they all fucked Black Widow, and they talked about it secretly in the movies. It was wonderful. The other thing, too, is we might be getting, like I was saying, the parody versions. We might be getting alternate versions of some of our MCU characters coming up here with the rumors of Tom Cruise and John Krasinski playing alternate universe Iron Man and Captain America. I fucking love this idea. Javi, you just made a face like,
Whoopie-who.
fuck this shit. Why?
I don't enjoy. First of all, John Krasinski has to be Mr. Fantastic. I don't buy him as Wolverine. I don't buy him as Captain America.
Now that he's Jack Ryan, I can see him as Captain America.
I could see him as
fucking
Cap.
Jack
Yeah.
Ryan.
Does he kick ass in Jack Ryan?
He really does.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. Then.
But either way, he auditioned to be Captain America, or they wanted him for Captain America, I believe, and I think he turned it down.
Why would they be talking about that so much if it wasn't something they were implanting in our heads, the idea of it? Like, nothing's done on accident. Like,
Right.
I don't even think these Tom Holland drops, when he drops little bits of information, him or fucking Hulk over there chatting it up, I think all that's calculated and meant to spread rumor and to entice people like us who want to talk about it. So regardless, fucking great season of The Boys.
This season also was really, really intense. They had a lot of just very fucking close calls with the Seven. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Shows like Lost in Space, it's something bad all the fucking time. Every time, every episode, it's just fucking horrible. This one, though, you got some bad shit, some good shit, and they're able to balance it really well to where it's not draining. You're not constantly just going, God, will you stop making these stupid fucking choices all the time? Do something that actually makes sense.
Well, that's what's so fun, is watching them with the rabbit foot, like just getting out of scenario after scenario after scenario, because they're not the smartest. The boys aren't the smartest. They're not the brightest. They're literally living on the edge. Living on the edge! But that's what they're doing at all times, and it's just so cool to watch that and root for them. But the thing is, it's wonderful about the show is you root for the good guys, you kind of root for the bad guys, too. You just all around, just all these characters are so fucking great. Like, they take the time to build them up, each and every one, whether it's the Deep being a fucking idiot and you gotta laugh at him because that actor is killing it.
Deep had one of my favorite moments. It's when he like tracked down Maeve on the set and they were talking and he asked Maeve, "You think I'm a piece of shit?" And she goes, "Fuck yeah." And the guy goes, "Yeah, I'm a piece of shit." And they keep going with the fucking conversation. For some reason, I fucking died laughing. Like,
yeah.
I think I'm a piece of shit.
He had a funny arc throughout the season also, though.
That is
I like
Stifler, right? That is Stifler, right?
No.
That's not Stifler.
No.
Sure, he's got the same cross-eyed.
That's Chase Crawford.
I don't know. He's killing it. I think that guy's going to be a huge star, too. Somehow he can be like this creepy pervert rapist, and you still kind of like him.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about this show that I like.
This is bullshit. I did everything you wanted me to do. I even married some weirdo girl who gives terrible
blowjobs. That made me so happy. But
I think they kind of pull that off with every character on this show.
Right.
Though.
They show, and that's what I like about this. This show, as bad as people are, and they are, it shows that people who make bad decisions or do bad, evil things are still complicated human beings at the end of the day.
Who've been through some shit.
Yes. We've all know people in our lives that have done something that's irreprehensible or terrible. Like I said, everyone's one person keeping a secret away from being canceled at all times. And this show represents that people are complicated and difficult, a little more extreme than most people, but like these are superheroes and you got to go with that. But to humanize people who are deemed evil or not good and to show that side, I think is just a merit to the writing and the acting on this show. It's just fucking killer. So happy that 40-year-old virgin worked out and we ended up getting fucking Rogan and he creates all this cool shit afterwards. And, through osmosis too, because all this stuff was written, but he was the bridge to bring all these creators in and say, hey, we got something here. So whether it be this or Preacher or any of the millions of other things he works on.
Preacher's so good.
Next to Kevin Smith, the most active stoner in the fucking world. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Duck. I've been here with
Jake
and
Javi
and our special guest, Reverend Eastwood.
Thank you for having me, boys. I appreciate you.
And don't forget, support local comedy in any way that you can. With that, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
You ain't Billy. Oh, wait.
That's a different one. That's a different one. Different one. And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Bagu, a video game podcast where we talk Atari to Steam and everything between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore and having such a good time. Heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. And finally, our new live video podcast, Slash Horrorcast, where we're going to have a roundtable discussion about our favorite horror movies. That'll be available on Twitch and YouTube, streaming every Monday at 8 p.m. Check the links in the description to find out what movies we'll be watching. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. Please remember to support local comedy in any way that you can. We'll see you next time.